everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. It's a little bit of a different setup. I have my coffee for the day. It's actually my second coffee of the day. But I'm doing something today that I've really been neglecting, and that is fixing up my reading journal and putting in all of the books that I have read that I haven't filled in. I'm currently still on the first page of June in my journal, and it's August, if that gives you any idea of how far behind I am. So that is what I'm going to work on this morning. I have my little envelope here that I just put all of my book covers and things like that in, and my pens and all my stickers and things I like to use in my journal. So I'm going to start filling this in. I think I have like 7 or 8 books that I write in this little book here when I'm finished reading that I need to fill in. So the last one that I read, the last one I have in here is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, actually, that's sad, 10 books that I need to fill in my journal. Write the synopsis and all those things on it. Well, I guess I don't really write a synopsis in the books, about the books. I write down what I rated them, a little bit of information on them, what I enjoyed in the book, what I didn't like in the book. I usually put the author's name, the genre, pages, rating, spice rating, all that good stuff, and what number book it is of the year. My goal for this year is to read 75 books. Most people set it at 100. This is my first year that I'm reading religiously, I guess, that I'm, stuck with it, and I've been reading all the time, so I didn't want to set myself too high of a goal. I think 75 is a good goal to achieve, and I'm probably around number 50 or a little bit more, I'm not too sure. Currently I have 39 books in here, so we are on number 49, I guess, since I have to add 10 more. And so that would make the book I'm currently reading now number 50. So yeah, I need to fill this in. If you want a little bit more of an in-depth video on how I do it, I do have a reading journal video on my channel where I talk about how I fill it in and what I do. I realized when I looked back at that video, actually, that I had, when I was talking about the Maybe Someday series by Colleen Hoover, that I had put in that I rated it 4 out of 5 spice rating. And after I read those books, I went through and I was just kind of like filling things in. It was not a 4 out of 5 spice rating. I don't know why I wrote that. Maybe I was not paying attention. I guess that was the only reason why. So I definitely need to go back and fix that. They're more of like 1.5 or 2 spice rating, depending on what you rate spicy in a book, but definitely not 4 out of 5. I noticed that I wrote that in my other video, and I actually talked about it. I never even picked up on the fact that I had said that. Yeah, they definitely weren't that spicy for me. But anyways, I am going to probably do like a little bit of a time lapse of me filling in my journal, just drinking my coffee. I've got my Kindle off to the side here. I don't know if I'll do a little bit of reading while I am filling in my journal. I'm currently reading Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma, and I'm so excited to get to reading it. Not there. Have you ever? I download my books on my Kindle, not from like the actual Kindle app. I have a website that I download them from. So sometimes it doesn't show up the cover of the book. So yeah, I'm going to be reading that, and I'm really excited. I haven't even started it yet. Maybe it might stand up on this little phone stand, because it definitely won't. Oh, perfect. It definitely won't stand up on my pop socket because it's too high up on my Kindle. But yeah, I'm going to fill this in and we will go from there, I guess. Alrighty, so I am almost halfway through the list of books that I need to fill in. I've got June down and most of July. You've probably seen in the time lapse that a lot of them don't have their cover there, and it's just like writing and all that kind of stuff. It's because I wasn't anticipating on reading these books, so I don't have covers printed off for them, but some of them I do because they were on my TBR for a while. The ones that don't, I need to print covers for, but I just left it blank for now. I still need to fill in the Twisted series that I read in July, and then start my August. I will show you. I've just been using this stuff here, which I actually just got from the dollar store, and I just cut pieces off of it. It's like it's called like book protector or something like that. Usually people use it for school. They cover like their textbooks with it. It's just like a clear like film, I guess, kind of like tape. So this is what I use to stick my covers of my books and things into my book. So I did print these off on my Cricut. I already talked about them in my other video, but if you haven't seen that one, this is what I do. I print off the names of each month on my Cricut machine, and then I use this to stick it down. If you know anything about doing a Cricut, you can't just pick up the sticker and stick it to the paper. You need some kind of transfer tape, and so this is what I actually use for transfer tape. But once you use transfer tape on actual regular paper, it does not peel off nice. It tears the paper up. So I like to put the transfer tape over top and then shape it to the vinyl decal that I'm using, and just stick that on and leave the transfer tape on there. If your word is all one word, or your shape or whatever it is you're sticking into your book, you could just peel it up and stick it. I like to make sure it's as even as possible, so I will use transfer tape. So I did that for July. As you can see, there's just that little bit of shine there, but I don't mind that, and this book is just for me. I also use that to stick in the cover, so you can see that, and I just like that better than adding glue or putting like a little bit of tape around the edges. I just think it looks super nice. Gives a protectant layer over top of your paper, so that way it won't tear, it won't peel on the edges. You won't get smears if your pen ink moves around over top of your book, because it has that protective sticky layer on top, which I really like. So yeah, I'm just continuing to fill that in. Also, one thing I do need to do is print off some more star stickers, because normally, like for here, for example, when I do a rating, I put in the stars of how many stars I rated it. I have not been doing that because, like I said, I don't have any more star stickers. So what I have been doing is just putting a little number there of how many stars I rated. So like the Good Girl Complex, I rated this one 5 stars. So I just added a little tiny 5 there, so that when I do add my stickers in, I can stick it right over that 5 and it will not show up. rather than, you know, putting a big number 5 there. So that's what I've done. I'm trying to fill them in. I really need to stay on top of it because sometimes you can forget the things that happened in a book. So normally I like to write in my reviews and everything as soon as I finish reading it. If you see any of the writing in here, there could be spoilers, so I wouldn't read them if you haven't read the books. But yeah, also you'll see that I'm using a pink pen and I'm writing quote. Sometimes I like to fill in a quote, sometimes I don't. There's quite a few that I have done quotes for, but there's some that I just skipped it. I don't feel like I need to be super particular on what I do in my books. If I feel like I don't want to look up a quote that I really liked, if I didn't save one while I was reading, no big deal. I do not annotate my books, so chances are that I don't always have a quote in mind when I finish the book, so I'll either Google what I can remember of the quote, or I'll search up some quotes on Goodreads and add them into my book. Obviously pick something that I really resonated with in the book, or just something I thought was funny or whatever. Maybe of my favorite quote by the character that I really liked. Yeah, there's no like rhyme or reason, I guess, to what I'm doing. I also like to fill in the page amount. I'm currently using my phone to film, so I can't Google the page amounts for each book, but I like to put in the page amount because on the beginning of each month, I like to go back after I'm done and write in how many pages I did, so that way I have the pages I've read in each month, so at the end of the year I can tally up the 12 pages rather than however many books I read, and I can figure out how many pages I read for the year. It's just something I like to do. I don't really need to know that information, but it's just something I like to do in my journal. So yeah, I'm going to continue on doing that and finishing up my journal, finishing up my coffee. I haven't really been reading because I've been too focused on just getting this done. There's a lot of like cutting and pasting and all that kind of stuff, but now that I have almost all of my books filled in, I can continue to fill them in right after I read. I was kind of behind on it, like I said, by 10 books, and it just kept piling up and I kept not having a time or chance to do it. Therefore it was just, I was like, oh, I don't want to go in and fill it out yet because I have to fill in all these other books. So I figured I'd sit down while I have the time to do it, fill them all out, so that way as soon as I'm done I can start writing in the next book and start keeping on top of it, because it's something that I really enjoy doing, and sometimes I just get behind on it and therefore I don't fill it out right away, and it had started to pile up, so I just wanted to get it done with. So yeah, I'm going to finish the rest of them and I will get back to you. Alrighty, so, see, actually I should angle this up a little bit. There we go. I finished filling in. I've only read one book so far in August, so that's done. Another thing that I decided to do is I decided to put in really small writing the name of the book if I didn't have the cover there, so that way I didn't forget. Because I don't, when I do the little top information, I only do author, genre, pages, rating, spice rating, because normally the book cover is there. I don't really need to write in the name of the book because it's always on the front of the cover. So that's just one extra step that I don't have to do. So I do write in the name of the book so that way I remember when I do print them off to put them in. One thing that actually I want to go back and do is something that a subscriber recommended, and I can't remember the person's name, but I thought it was such a good idea. I mention a lot in my wrap-up videos when I talk about books that I always forget characters' names, and it's such a struggle for me because I forget to look them up before I do the videos, and then I just draw a complete blank when I'm talking about the book. So she recommended that I go back through and write the characters' names with each book that I do. So I think I'm gonna do that underneath my little blurbs up here with all of the information about the book. I also need to go back and get the page numbers, but I will do that later on. So I'm gonna write down here CN for character names, and or maybe I'll write couple because I'm only reading romance, and then I will write the names of the couple, so that way when I use my journal to talk about my reading wrap-ups each month, I can go back through and look at the name of the couple so I can talk about it better and tell you the names of the people in the book. So yeah, I'm going to do that for a few of the other books, and I think that's it for today until I get my covers printed off to paste in. Alrighty guys, that is the end of today's video. I have it all filled out, and I've decided to do the couple names in pink, so that way it's bright enough that I can see when I'm doing my videos the names of each couple. I haven't done it for all of them yet because I definitely have to go back through and Google the names of the couples in books, but the ones that I have read recently, I remember the names of those, so I filled those in. Yeah, that is the end of that. There is a couple other things that I need to do, like the pages and all that kind of stuff, but I am not going to do that today because I have already been at this for like over an hour. I would say probably about 2 hours possibly, between like looking up stuff and filling it all in. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this fun, like laid back time-lapse kind of video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Maybe this gave you some inspiration to start a reading journal or things that you'd like to add to yours. Yeah, I definitely want to change up the stickers, or maybe when I do next year's reading journal, have some like actual stickers that correspond with reading. There is a couple on here, like this one here, and just some cute ones that say like strong female lead, different things like that, but most of it was just kind of some cute stickers that I liked. But I definitely want to print some more things out and maybe even stick some things in. The next thing I need to do is put in the rest of the books that I've read on my shelves that I showed in my last video. Every time I read a book, I just fill in the names on these shelves so I can see how many books I have read. And yeah, I am at book number 50, which is a third of the way through my goal. I need to read another 25 books to finish my goal for the year. So I think I'm going pretty good, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on my other social medias if you would like, on Instagram and TikTok at Steph_reads_romance. Steph Reads was taken, so yeah, that is on both platforms. That's the name. Thank you so much for watching, and happy reading, happy journaling. Goodbye.